Hey everyone, Sean here, and just wanted to make this video. It's that time of the year again. Once again, the year has definitely begun, and already it's looking pretty rough for some Californians, to put it nicely here. Just a little bit. No, a lot of Californians, especially around the LA area, are deeply affected by the fire. From Palisades, um, you name it, around the Beverly Hills areas, Hollywood. It's terrible. Those areas have been devastated by the fires that have could have been well suppressed. Could have been any other fire, right? But our leaders have failed us, and they are to take responsibility for it and accountability. And maybe that is perhaps a good time for big changes. But the year has begun, and maybe that's what it's all about, right? Big changes. But anywho, I didn't mean to start off the video like this, but obviously I live in California, so I thought I had to put my little 2 cents on that, at least a little bit. Overall, I am very disappointed. I am frustrated for the families that had to pretty much suffer the consequences of what was caused by irresponsible leaders, by the few, right, who were who has sworn oath to do their due diligence, to perform a duty to protect us people, and they definitely failed that, with horrible colors. But anyways, just wanted to at least throw that in there somehow, because yes, I live in California. So anywho, didn't mean to throw that into the start of the video, but I wanted to let you guys know that I'm okay. I live thankfully far away from the area, but we've had ash falling down, and our cars are of course getting said ash, at least two of the three anyway. Of course, this one is always in the garage, so that's how pretty much it goes. But this time around, it was a lot more ashes than I've ever seen. The pictures don't do it justice, of course, but it's definitely saying something, at least to me anyway, of how much of a devastation it was, or is even, because it's still going as I record this. Hopefully, at some point soon, that will be a thing of the past. But there has to be some changes coming. Every year we will always look forward to changes, and I think this is definitely one of them that we are very much asking for, and hopefully some action will be taken soon. But anywho, I'm sorry, I'm like going back and forth with it, but it's of course going to be affecting people's cars, right? And one way or the other, someone had to abandon them altogether, right? A number of them had to lose them altogether. But meanwhile, over here, like I said, I'm okay. Um, we even prepared to some extent. We got a bunch of water right there, but who knows how long that will last, right? I guess that's something to share in these detailed journals. But anyway, so in terms of car detailing, how that's been going, right? The journey continues. Of course, this is still a hobby of mine. It's a pastime for me. I love just doing anything that has to do with car detailing. Where to begin, really, because there is something to say, there is something to show, but I just don't know where to begin, really. But I guess I can go with or start with over here. I've used this baby for a little bit, at least 2 times now, and I think my impressions have overall kind of leveled out quite a bit. I think this is a good rinseless wash. There's just so many out there nowadays. It's just really hard to say which one is the best. So it's a good one. You can't go wrong with Ethos if you want to support them and have some sort of rinseless wash in their arsenal. Really other than that, there's not much to say. The peachy smell is great. I think it started to grow on me as I used it more, but definitely still not a favorite scent of mine. That would be DIY detail still, but it's up there. It's a good rinse wash in most ways, or if not every way. I think the very initial use, I used it on my sister's car, and that car was extremely filmy. I didn't even know until I started to do the contact wash. I thought it was just like dusty or something, but nah. That car just gets super filmy for some reason. It just, I don't know what it is. But even, despite that, the, what do you call it, the one dunk thing with the sponge, it did that beautifully. It did everything else as a rinse wash otherwise. Provided a clean, glossy finish. The towel feel, the sponge feel, and all that stuff was good, right? Probably within somewhere in the top 10 for sure. But that being said, I haven't tried like more than even 10 rinse washes, but that'll happen soon enough because there's just so many out there, and there are plenty for me that I want to try on my sort of wish list, quote unquote. I even have one on the way. It's called Loki from the House of Rags, or AKA Detail Co. So I definitely am looking forward to that because that's like a very much a hybrid sort of rinse wash because it has more surfactants, but it also has polymers, and it can really foam, but it can also just kind of like act like a rinse wash. So definitely much looking forward to that. Hopefully that'll come soon. But it is to say though, this rinse wash is just great. I like it. I'll have it. I'll keep it around for those occasions anyway. So I am definitely pretty much happy with it after a couple more tries. All right, let's go over here. There is this tire inflator that's kind of lying right here. Why? That is because, unfortunately, it's pretty much on its way out. It's giving out. I heard some terrible, terrible noise during that recording of the DIY detail hybrid wash video that I've done recently, or that I published recently. That noise was kind of a sign to me that it's pretty much done. I shouldn't continue using it, and it made me realize I should do something a little differently. So my approach to pumping up like the IK sprayers over there, and of course I never use it for the detail keg because there's no way it'll pump up the detail keg in a short time. It'll take a lot of time, and not to mention, that'll get the motor hot and stuff like that because the detail keg is just much tougher to pump. But in return, you get a much more of a full, bold output of a spray and such. There's just something about keeping compressed air in a metal tank versus a plastic one, given that, well, the detail keg or kegs in general are pretty strong, depending on what kind of connectors and such like that are rated for, right? So, in other words, it made some weird noise, or TLDR rather, I should say. It made some very ugly noise, and it sounded like the motor's giving out. So yeah, this is retired. I'm gonna probably have to, give it the old Viking, what do you call, funeral, aka throw in the trash. Because obviously you don't want to burn it. It has a lithium-ion battery in there. So yeah, I only am having only one, and what I'm going to do from now on is use my air compressor way over there somewhere. I'll probably take you guys to it later down the line, but in the video. But basically, what I'm going to do is use the air compressor over there, the big one, to do the big initial pump, and then use the tire inflator to just maintain the pressure rather than doing all that work, because I figured maybe that's what's contributing to the shorter lifespan, perhaps saving a lot more, right, on the motor, and let the bigger heavy duty machine do all the pumping and stuff like that, while the little guy will just maintain it rather, right? So I think that'll do a lot better in that sense. I just can't help it. I love this sort of setup with the IK sprayers. They foam great, they distribute great, they work great, just perform great in general. It's a great alternative to the foam cannon, in my opinion. You can store a lot more. You have like more wiggle room to just foam your car like no tomorrow. It's just a fun little thing. And then add the tire inflator, and you have a very effective setup essentially. There is that saying though. I mean, buy high or cry or something like that, or buy twice, whatever the saying goes. I mean, there is that IK air compressor that's actually built for this, but it's a big whopping $150. But then again, I pay that a similar amount for the air compressor over there, but that air compressor is a lot more quiet, and that'll act more universally for like a way to use air tools and stuff like that, blowers for the interior stuff possibly, just little touch-up jobs here and there, some little bursts of the air tools here and there in some ways, but it'll mainly be there for pumping up the IK sprayers, and this, of course, the beloved detail cake still. And speaking of which, I've gone back to using this pistol grip setup right here. It's just like one of those like old reliable type of setups. It's very simple. I'm sure it'll last long enough. Just like this detail keg right here. It's just so simple. It's just this ordinary garden nozzle sprayer thing that you can just buy from your hardware store. But what makes this unique is the spray head right here, which typically is used for like greenhouses and stuff like that, your plants, right? But I've converted it so that it's this is a quarter inch right here. This has a 1/4 inch male right here, and it connects to a 3/4 inch garden hose thread right here, which is really nice. Which is a lot of what these pistol grip nozzles have. It's that thread right there on the front on the nozzle. So pretty cool. I may do something about this hose right here though for the detail keg. I think I'm gonna go back eventually to just a regular old air hose from Flexzilla. The coil thing is kind of like the idea is there, but the actual execution or whatever, the actual reality is that it becomes a little more bothersome than it is reliable at the end. So I'm probably, when this breaks or something, or whatever the case may be, I am going to change it back to just this sort of style of air hose. I'm gonna and just like push this around, since this has the dolly on it, so with the bungee cord attached to it. So that's gonna be my sort of final end game sort of setup for the detail keg. I mean, otherwise, this guy right here has been performing wonderfully. I love it. The 7-Up thing is still like something I just giggle at. It's kind of like a conversation piece for anyone who is curious about my detail setup and stuff like that. It's such a I don't know, it's just funny. It's just got charm to it, the age of it, just the condition of it. I don't know, it's just something about these detail kegs. When you're buying them, you just never know what you'll get. The caveat, of course, is that because you don't know what you'll get, the quality could be possibly like a hit or miss or something like that. But for the most part, detail kegs refurbished perform just fine. You're better off that way versus buying a brand new one, because it's just quite the whopper on the wallet. But yeah, it's a great little thing. It has its place in my arsenal. It's just something about, like I said, there's just something about having a compressed air in a metal tank versus something like a plastic tank something about it. It's just something different, and it just makes it much more effective to distribute the product, right? Especially rinse and wash. I think it's great. This thing especially really completes it. The spray on this is so insane. It looks ugly, not the best looking thing, but man, the performance really says otherwise. It really offsets it, really makes up for it. I will be using this setup most likely forever, as long as that cake is still living, pretty much. Right. There are caveats of having a detail keg, but if you already have the stuff for it, then you'll have fun with it for sure. But, otherwise everything else in the car has been coming along just fine. Still using a bunch of tools that you kind of see here for the most part. The upgrade has been well worth it thus far. The car itself is still holding up just fine. It does a great job just carrying all my essential tools that I need for the situation, right? It's like, okay, so this is happening. So what do I have in this detail cart that I can use to problem solve that situation, right? And it somehow has it, right? It somehow, has something to help resolve that. So that's like that wonderful thing about having a detail cart. So basic, but it's it really changes things. I never had it, and now that I have had this for like a long enough time, I think back on it, it's like, how the hell did I even do that? It's such a handy thing. Otherwise you're going back and forth from the garage and back to your car, and it just takes up so much time. You just don't really realize it until you get one of these ones. Even a cheap little detail cart like that cost me $30, really still changed things up for me in terms of time, in the context of washing a car. All right, so that's pretty much that. Around the car, that is, it's still performing pretty well. But now let me take you guys over here to the garage and take a look at this. Right, I haven't actually shown this off in a detailed journal of sorts till now. So I've added these handles, right, made of PVC pipes. Although there's a bit of a surprise exclusive for this video right here, but I'll get to that in a bit. But basically, it's a handle, a pole handle on a bucket. It is actually attached to the old bucket I've had a long time ago and I bought from Target long time ago. These buckets are old, like the ones on the bottom, that is, right? Super old. Like, I bought these in high school. That's how old they are. These like regular wash buckets. I use it as a dolly for the HDX Home Depot. It's right here. Or they're really paint buckets, 5-gallon buckets, but you can definitely use them. A lot of people use them for car detailing needs or car washing needs. And then this PVC attachment right here, first off, has the end cap right here. This is a 1-inch pipe, so definitely sturdy enough on its own like that. But how I did it here in this situation was I basically drilled some holes on the bottom, and I used what I had in the garage was these hex head bolts right here. So you had to use a Allen wrench of some kind to bolt it in there, along with the nuts that go along with that. So these are 3/8 inch. I forget the length, but long enough. And they kind of arrange like this in the cross, so that way it's a lot more steady. Now, I didn't glue this one because I thought I didn't need to. So it does kind of move a little bit, but somehow it's just on tight enough so that it really doesn't become an issue without the PVC glue or adhesive, what you want to call it. So this cross arrangement allows it to be a lot more steady and has a better footing, right, in the bucket. And on top of that, right, now, and I can still put my bucket on top of it, and I can move it around without having to bend my back and push it like that, like I used to now. And this pole really changes things. It really makes it really handy. I can like hang stuff off of there, like this 1 gallon jug right here that I use for mixing purposes. And then here, you may notice, wait a minute, why are the two same buckets together? What about this one? What's going on here? So I recently bought myself one of these like wash bucket dollies that you can get for 15 bucks at Walmart. I bought this online, so this actually came immediately, despite the wildfire or whatever. And basically, it really is good. I mean, for 15 bucks, it's such a nice little thing to have. But what I did here, I don't know if you can see that in the camera, but I actually used zip ties, really big zip ties, mind you. So they're like heavy duty to put this together. And previously, this pole handle that I made was also for the other wash bucket right here. I detached it and put it onto here. I had to like cut some PVC a little more because they were glued together actually. So you can kind of see a little bit of the rough work right here, somewhat at least. You can definitely see the zip tie right there, zip tie right there, and it's attached to this little part of the bucket. I'm not sure what this is supposed to be, but maybe like I don't know, you put your brushes right here or something. I'm not too sure what that's supposed to be, but for right now, I use it as a means to attach this guy right here. And now this is now this bucket dolly has the handle. The handle idea, I want to say again, came from Franco Detail. Franco really does some cool like DIY stuff relating to car detailing. I really like his channel. I follow him for that stuff. Really like it. As someone who likes the DIY stuff myself, whenever I have the chance to do so. And if it's something I can do, right? So adding a pole handle like this really does change things for the wash bucket. It makes things a lot easier. I can just, without even having to bend my back or whatever, can just move it around, right? The idea is still there. So it's such a, I don't know, it's such a, it makes such a big difference for something so simple. It's like, oh, it's just a pole, but makes detailing that much better. And I really like the idea, so thank you, Franco, for the idea. Franco has been doing a lot of work with these handles, the shifts, the stick shift, I guess he calls it, or dubs it. Again, it's so cool. That's all I can really say, because it is. As someone, if you're someone who details or washes their car, that often or whatever, you gotta like lug around the bucket or push around the bucket or whatever. If you can, get some PVC or something and add it to your dolly. It's really going to make things a lot easier. Trust me. Pretty simple. Like if I can do it, you can do it. Get some zip ties if you have to, like I did. Some good ones, of course. And there you go. I mean, bolt it on, zip tie it on, do what you gotta do, but it'll definitely change your life a bit. Up next, we have the reel right here. I've had this installed for a little bit now. I've been using it for a little bit, at least, and I really do like it. I'm glad the mounting job is well enough. It is performing well enough, and it really also helps things, right? Just like the pole handles, right, on those buckets. This is also pretty helpful for the pressure washer setup. I really do like it. I definitely do see why more and more garages should have these. If you're, an avid weekend warrior or do it for business, whatever it may be, it's great. I think, You gotta do some more work, of course. This was a pain in the ass to get this mounted, but it paid off. It's well worth it. With all the mess upness of my knuckles that came out of that, it was well worth it. Meanwhile, so far this reel is performing pretty well. It's got that nice clicking sound to it. It auto retracts when you pull it back or whatever, or pull it forward, however you want to put it. So yeah, for this, let me pull this out. This is another game changer. I really have been liking the incorporation of this, the implementation, I should say, of this to my detailing routine, which is to provide just enough warmth for the wash bucket. You don't want it too hot because otherwise, especially during winter, it'll definitely put a crack on your windshield because of the thermal shock. So what I do is leave this enough or long enough to be lukewarm, which isn't too long. If you want really warm water, it'll take a lot longer, but especially, depending on the quantity of water. But if you can't get one of these, it definitely is handy, especially during winter times. It has been pretty nice thus far. Another little handy tool. This one ran me probably about like $40 at most, give or take. I even bought myself another rocker switch right here. Very handy because what makes this unit waterproof is that it doesn't have a switch, so you have to just plug it and dip it in the water first, and then you turn it on by plugging it in, and that's how you typically use this device. But the rocker switch makes it a lot easier. I have to like walk all the way to the outlet and unplug it like that. So that's pretty cool. So yeah, nothing else new here in particular. Just my compressor still sitting there happily, still performing pretty well. Same with this Karcher pressure washer, still performing pretty well. Especially now that I have this all set up right here. It just sits right here in that corner all the time now. Thanks to this reel, right? It makes reaching this pressure washer a lot more easier, a lot more accessible, especially now now that my hose setup is over here, and I just like I have to turn on the water over there. Outside I have to go to the little alley to turn it on, but once I do that, all my hoses are right outside that corner over there. If you go outside the garage, it'll be right there. And then I just plug it in, all that stuff. Quick connects, right? Pressure washer gun right there. This has been pretty cool. This attachment, I've tried it. I got the idea from Cars with Keeve, and one other detail, I forget his name. Forgive me, but Keeve is definitely one of them, and gave it some praise. I think it's just okay. It really depends on your GPM and stuff like that. I think it's just okay for like maybe testing out your hydrophobics and stuff like that for the paint, or maybe something else. But you really can't use it all that much. There's limited uses for it. Maybe a little quick rinse. But you have to turn off the pressure washer, because otherwise it'll probably blow this away or something. Because yeah, you definitely don't want to do it with the pressure washer on. There's that. But otherwise, it's cute. That's all I can say. So let me go around again. And there was one thing I wanted to talk about. What was it? Oh yeah, so I did finally went ahead and used the built hammer. I wonder where is it? Oh yeah, there we go. It's in the box right here. Just go ahead and take this out to show you guys. So I finally got to use this. I broke off the tape and everything. Bill Hammer touchless, man. I'm a believer. Pretty cool. I just put 4 ounces into, what was it, like 20 to 30 ounces, and it foamed pretty well. And it definitely had that bite, right? It had that nice cleaning bite for that initial step of the car wash. I used it on my sister's car because that gets extremely filmy. So this was sometime after the rinseless wash with Ethos. And then, so it performed beautifully. Although, I've been having some. Sorry if you heard the mic getting hit. I've been having some sort of issues with it though, when it comes to ceramic coating, which I think I have it somewhere stored in this area. But anyway, it's the Cerakote V2. It performs mostly well, but maybe it might have been user error on my end, or just, I don't know, that roof is just roughed up or something. I don't know what happened to it, but it just floods. The roof floods. I tried using Bill Hamber. I tried using the acidic wash. Nothing. So I think, I don't know, maybe just the product just didn't stick to the roof well or something. The rest of the car looks fine for hydrophobics, but I don't know, just something about that roof, man. It's just not doing it. So somewhere down the line, I'll repolish it and redo the coating, and hopefully that'll perform better. We'll see. I'm sure I polished the roof just fine, but I don't know, man. It's just, that's the one panel. Just, I don't know. It just didn't do a lot well. So I'll try again. If it happens again, then I don't know. May have to move on. But for right now, I topped it off with some Infinity, Detail Coats Infinity, and that should do the job for the time being. Other than that, oh yes. So I didn't want to talk about this. Let me just go ahead and pull it out here. All right, let's do this with one hand. Aha! Look at that. Really cool. I really like this little device right here. It's the Fantic MB8 Flip. It's a portable pressure washer. You kind of hear it right here. There we go. Bit of a delay there for some reason, but anyway, pretty cool. All you have to do is just like attach the hose to it. Use siphon, whatever you want, including rinseless wash, and it just performs beautifully. So I thought of a video idea for involving this again. I did my review for it. I think I came out pretty successfully with what I could. But another idea kind of popped into my head for another video topic. But it does involve with this and a detail keg. So you may figure out what that is, but yeah, but for right now, this is pretty cool. I like it. I like it better. Well, conceptually, I like it better than the Fantic like bucket looking thing that they had in the past. I think this is kind of like a successor. Honestly, it feels like it, because like the gun, it looks similar. The tip looks similar. Even like the foam cannon that comes with is very similar. So I think this is like the successor for it. I mean, honestly, you're better off with this if you're gonna compare this to the bucket version or whatever you want to call it, because you can siphon from anything. You're not limited by, that little bucket, which doesn't even close off properly and stuff like that. And speaking of which, I wonder where I put it, but I have an idea of how we can really make this really cool while in use. Oh yeah, it's all in the same area. So let me just put that right there for right now, and pull this baby out right here, which is basically a portable collapsible jug, right? It's a 2-gallon or almost 3-gallon collapsible jug. It's called a water storage cube, collapsible water container. You can open up right to that cube. You can put it back down, and you can fold it away. So it's like it's a very portable water tank right here that has a very robust sort of material right here, very robust plastic, you know. And this inlet right here, well, take off the cap, will allow the siphon cap to go through, and thus I can like carry this around while detailing my car or spraying whatever I am spraying. So that idea popped into my head, and I thought, yeah, that could work really well. I haven't tried it out just yet, but I'm sure it'll work. So excited to do that at some point, especially with what's going on with the fire and everything. So the ash will definitely get washed away with the Fantic flip right there, the NBA flip. Let's see, what have I not talked about possibly worth mentioning? Worth mentioning in this video. That's pretty much it, right? I mean, I'm still using the water distiller right here, still performing pretty beautifully. I started to use this back up again. It's been a while since I've last used it, but because I've been using the detail keg once again, I'm using distilled water for the detail keg, and then mix it with rinse wash. I know it's not super necessary, but you know, to ensure that cleanness, right? The lack of water stains, or water marks or water spotting, right? That may be left behind during the car wash. You know, distilled water will definitely prevent that for sure. And oh yeah, so let's go back to here. What I've also been doing, I can't really exactly show, but I can only tell, is that I've actually been using a water dehumidifier, somewhere in my closet, because my closet is like right next to the shower. So some may imagine what happens if you leave it unattended, right? Mold. So I've been using dehumidifiers for a long time. You know, like those like powders or whatever, or like those little rocks that absorb moisture. Well, not too long ago, I bought myself one of those electric ones that you can plug in and stuff like that. It sucks up all that moisture. It does a good job, I think, of doing so. And it has a pretty big tank. It's like a 96-ounce tank. So eventually it'll get a lot of water in there, or like the let's just call it the dehumidifier water. And what I do after that is actually take that water and throw that into the water distiller. So that's almost a gallon, right? That 96 ounce, you know, and there's 128 ounces to a gallon. This takes about 1.3 gallons of water, so quite a bit. Maybe at max 1.6, but I keep it around 1.3 ish. And I use that to distill the water, because you know it could have like bacteria on it. You never know what happens with this. So distilling the water will definitely kill the bacteria because it's boiling the water, right? So it does all that, and then what we have here essentially is much safer water, just for that extra insurance. You know, you just never know, right? Don't really want to handle, you know, like the water from the dehumidifier, so you never know what's in it. Some people may probably use it to like mix up a spraying solution with like waterless wash or something. I don't know, but if I'm sure someone out there has tried it. Maybe it works, but hey, I mean, I just want to take that extra step just to make sure it's safe, because you never know what's in the air. So I just distill it, and then I store into here, as well as here, and then that there as well. Eventually, you know, when I'm like distilling that much water. So having distilled water is pretty handy because, you know, if you're like mixing chemicals and you let it sit for a long time, the chlorine, the lime scale and crap will eventually make it it'll give off that smell due to age. And it's not a pleasant smell if you mix, especially with some certain rinseless washes. It's get that like that old kind of gross. Don't want to deal with that. Other than that, still using the water softener. Still chugging along. I haven't had to recharge it just yet. After like a solid year of car washing. Pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. Then again, I just washed, twice a month, pretty much. Sometimes a little more than that, depending on how many cars I'm washing. But yeah, it's going to be a pretty exciting year. Trying to like ignore the chaos in the world, but car detailing alone, this is a car detailing journal after all. I'm definitely looking forward to some things, like I've been saying in other videos, including that pressure washer that Josh V is still developing at the moment. Hopefully I get my hands on that soon enough. And a couple of other chemicals, and then I'm sure more rinseless washes are coming out from whatever company. There is one I do want to try in mind. It's not particularly new, but it's called it's from Nighthawk. It's supposed to be like super hyper concentrated. I do want to try that along with the NZT or something like that, NZXT rinseless wash. That's also super hyper concentrated. So I do want to try that out eventually as well as the owner's pride. So there's already a decent amount of rinseless washes for me to try. I'm still waiting on my Loki, right, from Detail Co. Eddie, I'm looking forward to it. I saw that bottle in the video. I'm like, oh man, definitely want to see how that performs. Whether it's on Eddie's video or my actual wash, definitely looking forward to it one or the other. So yeah, pretty awesome stuff to look forward to. If I may, include one thing that's actually not relating to car washing, but relating to me, because ultimately, who's doing all the car washing? Me, in these videos. So anyway, unrelated. I bought myself one of those like Ninja creamy ice cream machines. Oh man, such a game changer. I can like not have to buy ice cream anymore. I just make myself ice cream. Not to mention it's super healthy in comparison. Way less calories. It's like half the calories almost. But I get still a good amount of protein, stuff like that. I use the Fairlife milk. That's what really makes it very healthy. And with certain methods, you can still replicate pretty close, make a very close sort of replication of ice cream. It's more like a milk sorbet or sherbet, depending on how on your perspective. But it might as well be ice cream because of just how close it is of like that texture and the flavor, and something that's like within my reach, right? It's homemade. I can make it myself. It's pretty easy. It's well worth the initial price of almost $200, because I can make 3 pints out of that one bottle of milk, right? That you get from the grocery store. Buying a pint of your typical favorite ice cream is like $3 at least, 4, 5, 6, even like 10 for some of them. Like that premium ice cream, that bougie ice cream. It's crazy. It's crazy of how expensive stuff is nowadays. But that bottle of milk is like $5. You make 3 pints out of that. That's already like a lot of money you save. It's crazy. It's crazy. And it's good. I can make like the peach sorbets. I can make protein chocolate ice creams with the whey protein powder and everything. It's good. I mean, you gotta like learn the certain things about like xanthan gum and guar gum and gelatin and stuff like that. But you're gonna make, no matter what, healthier ice cream for yourself. As long as you are willing to sort of bite that bullet with that initial cost, if you love ice cream that much, it's well worth it, I think. And if you're willing to kind of like incorporate the ice cream making into your repertoire, it's really not that hard. You just gotta have to make it into a habit, just like anything else. It'll be easy. It's just like, your typical, I don't know, Monday night, and then make ice cream and then you just eat it for like throughout the week. I could finish the pint, but I get really full. And that would be like what, 200 calories, 20 grams of protein at least. It's crazy. It's crazy of how easy it is. The more I do it. But all right, so I'm gonna leave it at that. Either way, TLDR or whatever. The ice cream, the Ninja Creamy is great. If you love ice cream, it's well worth it. Go buy it. Go try it. It'll definitely change how you go about ice cream in a way. But maybe from like time to time, I'll if I hang out with my friends and they want ice cream, I'll buy it. I'll buy myself some ice cream and eat it with them. Like 9 out of 10 times, if you eat all that healthy ice cream or whatever, one times out of 10, it's not gonna hurt anything. Moderation is key, right? Just like anything else. Oh yeah, the other key thing is, of course, use the right sweeteners. So stevia is a good one. It's a decent one, I would say. But there's one called Swerve. That one's, from what I've heard, a really good one. So that is that's pretty much it. That's really all I have for this video right here. So we're still going through the winter months. I mean, it's weird to say because we literally just had one of the worst, if not the worst, California fire ever. It's such a terrible thing, but some old science, and makes a lot more sense, right? Once you learn the science, it makes a lot more sense. And preventative measures could have been had. We've had them, but some certain people took them away, and look how that turned out. How about that? Anyway, that's all I got. Be safe out there, guys, whether you're on the West Coast or East Coast, because storms to be had, fires to suffer through, and everything else in between. Ice and fire, man. Fire and ice. It's somewhere in the world. I guess it's one way to put it. But anyways, hope you guys have a good start of the year of 2025. Let's make it great. We only it's up to us to make our years great, right? We can only look forward and march forward and march on. That's all we can do. So anyways, leave any comments below, whether they're relating to detailing or anything like that. Throw in some real life stuff. I don't care. As long as you're doing well, leave it down below. I'll read them. And don't forget to like and subscribe. It really helps out, and I do appreciate it. So I definitely plan to do more videos, kind of spontaneous. Another year, another bunch of videos relating to what I like, including some video games, but detailing, man. So with all that said, keep on detailing, and hopefully 2025 will be a good year. So with that, thank you very much, and hope to see you all in the next video. Shine out.